wants a throwback to when you were younger, and he wants to ride you.
I've never ridden anything. I want that on the record.
Off the record.
On.
Off.
I want that on the record.
Turn it off. Turn mic on. Let's go.
Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to another episode of DGen Hours. We are here, week two,
baby.
College football.
It's flying by.
We had week 0. We had week 1. So we're in week 2, but this is our third college football episode. We're making picks.
Counting is hard.
The schedule is not as good as it was last
Terrible.
week. The slate this week is a little soft, but there's a couple good games.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, when the slate's not great, that's when my cards get bigger and I love the games.
Way bigger.
Yeah. Like there's nothing like betting on, an FCS team, for example. Like it gets me going.
We're a couple of them.
Last week's records. So, throw it up. This is what we were last week. Ryan, I gotta bring up, you said if you weren't over 55%, then you would pay someone $55.
Yep.
You were exactly 50%.
Yeah, it hurt a lot. Definitely hurt. And I was at like 60, 61%, and then nightfall came on those college games on Saturday, and I got murdered. So, saying that, $55 is going to Silky Rap Swookie. You're getting $55, baby. Just DM us on Instagram or try to comment again, whatever you need to do to reach out to us. Get you your $55,
Twitter,
baby. Don't worry about it.
Instagram.
Wow.
Whatever you need.
There you have it. He's a man of his word. Whatever he says,
I
he's
pay.
not going over 55%.
Shout out
You wanna
Silky
hear that?
Raps.
Someone who
Shout out
did go
Silky.
over 50%, Michael.
Blown away.
Hey.
Blown away.
60%.
I think maybe my best ever college football betting.
What a start.
Up 19 units last week.
That was
Yeah,
massive.
well, the parlay helped.
The parlay, the
Mike
10
hit
to 1 parlay
Mike hit a
was
10 to
amazing.
1 14, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mario, though, on the...
Rough.
Yeah, tough.
Rough, tough.
Just-
No,
You know,
but I don't mind it.
You're in the trenches.
Because week 1, I always want to just take a lot of shots.
Get a feel.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you're seeing you got to adjust the scope.
You're a field
You got to
guy.
adjust the aim a little bit.
Yeah,
Feel
it's
it
it's
out.
1 week.
You're in the trenches.
It's
You're
1 week.
digging. We're in with the people.
We'll readjust.
And I was 45%. Nothing to write home about. Mortals, though, we started 2-0.
Oh, man, it was so
My
good.
The
dog.
Mortal Parlay
My
looked
dog.
great to start, and then me and Ryan Ryan lost it by a couple points in Michigan, and apparently LSU and USC don't play offense anymore.
Yeah, wow.
So,
They have some
Well,
type of
LSU
defense
just
now.
doesn't have the explosiveness
yeah, that
like they
over
had
was never
last
live.
year.
If they went to overtime, maybe not, but LSU loves
Gotta throw the
targeting,
ball.
So fuck 'em.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Um,
the targeting penalty at the
Yeah,
end
Mortal
was-
Lock Parlay did not hit. We're doing another one this
We got you
episode.
this week.
Don't
So
you
I
know.
feel confident we're going
For
to
Don't
sure,
you
if
worry.
you're even watching now, just go ahead and drop a comment, drop a like,
do it.
say Mortal
Free
Lock
money.
Parlay entry, whatever you want to say. Just you'll be in the mix. If we hit it, we hit it. $1,000 in your pocket. But we got some games to talk about, so let's get into it. First game on the card, Michael. It's a big one for you. Texas at Michigan. Texas at
Massive.
Michigan. Texas 7.5 point road favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan. They haven't lost in a while.
No, yeah.
Going back, they didn't lose this year yet. They didn't lose last year. You have to go to the year before that. And the total's 44.5. I'm opening it with you. How confident are you in your Texas Longhorns?
I'm going in with unbelievable hesitation and not just throwing myself at this line.
Don't throw yourself at it.
Not throwing myself at this line. Obviously, we talked, if you watched the previous video about Michigan last week and how they didn't really show up and show out how we thought they would. I had mentioned that they were pretty undisciplined on the penalties front and not being able to contain some of those. This week, I'm not banking on any of that. I'm banking on them playing literally a perfect game.
Yep.
I think that they're not going to get any penalties. 0 penalties for Michigan. And I mean,
They pay the refs good at home.
hey,
They pay him great.
they're
Not
known
last
for
week.
they're known for cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like
They didn't need it last
they know how to cheat.
They're
They
clocking
do-
in this week.
They do cheat with the best of them.
I mean, they're like the Patriots, but for college.
And Penn State without the child molestation.
Sandusky, shout out.
I don't know if we want to shout them out, though.
Whoa.
You know?
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Maybe not.
Just keep going.
Okay. Shout out Penn State.
Oh, my God.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Shout out Saquon. Only Saquon. Anyways, I think the key.
Okay.
Anyway, Texas.
The line's 7.5.
So the line
ahead.
is 7.5.
It's supposed to be about Texas versus Michigan, and
No, it is still. Trust me, I'm getting there. But but anyways, I think that this game is going to be very important for us to have. Obviously, a really balanced offense which means that we can't rely only on Quinn or, as you guys say, only on Arch. I think we brought in a new guy, Quintravion Wisner, who scored our first touchdown of the game last. Wisner.
Good football name.
I mean, of course. And of course, we have Jaden Blue in the backfield, who is unbelievable, but he was going to be our RB2 behind CJ Baxter before he got hurt. Something is happening in that Texas RB room because, I mean, Jaden Blue came out at the end of the third, I think, and never saw a snap again. I think he got the win knocked out of him.
Jonathan Bush from last year, Baxter, Blue.
Something's happening. Yeah. The turf is cursed. That's all I'm going to say.
Those steroids are wearing off.
Yeah.
Sure, something like that. But anyways, quickly into Michigan before I pass it off. I think the guys had previously mentioned about Orgy and how, he should be given a 50-50 split. My whole thing with that is, the guy's seen three passes. And Mario mentioned he has 7 plays total in his college career. Obviously he's highly touted to be amazing as an overall football player, but we just don't know, and I don't know if it's going to be smart to super rely on him. Granted, I say that with an asterisk because I'm a big fan of their other quarterback, Darren Warren, who's a South Bay native, so Manhattan Beach, shout out, and is also a cancer survivor, so I think he has a cool story. But anyways, I love Texas here. I'm taking Texas minus 7.5, obviously. I'm going to go under.
That was a ride.
Yeah.
That was
a crazy ride.
You never know where Mike's going to take you.
It was a ride where it's all dark. You can't see the tracks.
I'm really worried.
it's like my vision.
I'm really worried about this game. Michigan plays a perfect game. No penalties. I love their quarterbacks.
Shout out
That being
Sandusky.
said, I'm all over Texas here. That was well said. That was well said.
I mean, yeah, I think our team has shown that we're fit to, make a real natty push this year, and I think beating Michigan is the first
Big step.
key game in our season to do so.
How you feeling?
I mean, I like Texas in this spot. I think 7.5 is pretty big,
It is big.
especially for Michigan at home. I just think
Just a big number.
this is when you see Quinn Ewers, like when there's pressure on him and expectations. There's no expectations against Colorado State. You're winning. It's just like, how bad are we going to beat them? This is like, hey, you're going and getting a real test here. And these pressure moments are typically when Quinn doesn't perform the best. That being said, I think this Texas team is just better. So even with Quinn, he doesn't even have to perform excellent, in my opinion, for them to win this game. He has to perform excellent for them to cover. If Arch wasn't the backup, I would take Michigan plus 7.5. But because they have him, who could potentially come in, I just like Texas minus 7.5. I just think they're better. I think they're going to win the game regardless. So go with the team that's going to win to potentially cover.
Oof. I mean, this
Should be a good game, though.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. A lot coming.
Game of the week.
Yeah, for sure.
Game of the week.
I agree.
Yeah, so far probably going to be game of the year. Michigan, I just think this number, over-under number, is the thing that's a little confusing to me. My brain wanted to just do Texas minus 7.5, and I'm probably going to lean that way, but it's such a small over-under that, like, it doesn't say blowout. It says, like, close 13-10 throughout the whole game, and maybe somebody takes it, like maybe Texas takes over at the end of the game. But
10-point win.
I think that this is going to be a much more difficult game that a lot of people in the world are going to think. Michigan isn't just done for. I think they had a lot to learn from the first week. They still won by 20. It looked terrible. But their players need some time to sink together. I think they got it. They still have best tight end in the country, best cornerback in the country, good weapons everywhere. But, I mean, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be a great game, I think. It's going to be like till the last second insane game. I think whoever has the better offensive line is going to win this game.
25-17 Texas.
I was going to say score prediction 24-13 Texas.
I'm calling my shot here. So I agree. I think this is going to be a great game for anyone who wagers their house on Texas spread. This is my first call, like shot call of the season. Texas wins by over 30 points. This is, not besides my mortal, by far the biggest bet. I'm taking this so far this season. It is a 30-plus point win. I will be alt spreading this, and I will be hammering this over. This is not the same Michigan team. I know what I saw last week. It's exactly how I feel with Florida State. It is, people are so caught up in what this team was the last time they saw them play, and so caught up in how important home field advantage is. We watched this Florida State team host a Boston College team for their first home game. and get dog walked at home with a sold out stadium. Michigan they cannot hang with this team. I don't care about Quinn. It actually makes no difference to me how he plays. I don't think there's going to be pressure because I actually think this is a domination. I think Texas scores 40 points on their own.
Just
at
at
least.
will?
No, this is a like free fire. Like they're hitting form. They're not slowing down. This is their first statement game of the season. So I am all over Texas minus the 7.5.
That sounds like consensus.
And yeah, it is a consensus.
Bang! Consensus!
And my biggest bet
Right.
as well, I'm like in tandem, they're betting the same.
Ryan
is this
wants
over?
to flip now.
Yeah, I know.
I can see
I
it
know.
on
Maybe
his
it's
face.
just a gross game.
I know he does.
It's just, yeah. I mean, it looks gross when you read Texas, Michigan, but really it should say Texas, Nebraska, because this Michigan team is so bad. They don't deserve to have the Michigan jerseys
Damn.
on.
I don't know about that. That's
Trash.
hot.
I do
I mean, I
wonder.
love that
I
take.
do wonder where points are going to come from Michigan.
I couldn't find any when I looked at this
but
Michigan
that's
team.
why I'm kind of
Donovan
leaning
Edwards.
under because I can't see them winning 48-0. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think this Michigan defense is
do.
good enough still to hold them to like that 24-point margin. Even if Michigan scores 6 points, like I just see it going under personally. But
That's fair. I mean, we
I have
watched
Texas
Fresno
covering.
State was outgaining them. Fresno State scored 10 and threw a pick 6 on the 10-yard line. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
they don't hold a candle to what Texas has on offense. I mean, I think
Texas-
Texas is just open fire, like free range on this game. And
Damn.
it's you just have to not throw to their one corner.
First quarter, it'll be close.
I think the
It'll open up in the second quarter, and then I think Texas runs away.
the key for Michigan, if they are gonna stay in this game, is gonna be utilizing Donovan Edwards.
I was going to say, if they get the
They
run.
better be,
yeah, because
their
our-
offensive line better be able to block.
well,
That's all
our,
I'm gonna say. If
our
they
rushing
can't block,
defense is the worst part of our defense.
you hit hard.
By-
I mean,
by a
if
mile.
Orgy plays more than he did, like anything, and if it's a 1-2 with Donovan Edwards where you don't know which way he's going, this will be a very interesting game. If it's Warren,
Yeah, I mean,
probably going to be a murder.
Yeah. If it's Warren 100%, this game's a blowout. I'll live by that.
yeah. I mean, it'll be fun to watch this one, but I think this is your first big step.
I love it.
Of the season.
Wow.
Come
And
on,
then
baby.
the next game, this is actually the last game we're going to talk about before we get to the cards and go over everything.
It's a
'cause
really bad
the only
week.
other ranked matchup between two ranked teams. Tennessee at NC State. Interesting one where, again, the road team that's higher ranked is a 7.5-point favorite. The total's much larger, though, 59.5, which seems massive. This Tennessee team people are in love with because of Nico Illivan, blah, 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 blah.
I'm a
I'm a
leaver.
leaver.
Yeah,
Nico,
yeah.
I'm a leaver.
People love him. He throws for a lot of yards. Very highly ranked quarterback. This NC State team's got a little fight in them too. Ryan, I know you're a Tennessee fan,
Yep.
secondary to Ohio State.
Love Nico.
How are you feeling about this? I mean, it's a big number going into a ranked team.
No, yeah, this is tough. This is a really tough game. Nico looked unbelievable. He had all the hype going into it. There's nothing's changed. He seems like he's going to be the real deal at Tennessee. That being said, I'm not going against my ACC champion, NC State. I think it's going to be tough to play. This is going to be Tennessee's first real matchup. Their defense is still shaky, in my opinion, coming off last year. They were terrible. And I don't know. I just don't see a lot coming from them. I think NC State has a good team. I just see it'll be close. I think 7-point home underdog is ridiculous to me. Like, it's not like I just think it's absurd. So I have to lean NC State just for that reason. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think there'll be points scored for sure in this game.
Yeah, I think this is your best opportunity to fade the public at large. At kickoff, I think this is going to be the most bet public line is Tennessee. I've never seen such fever around how much people love this Nico guy. And I mean, I looked back at the game, they played Chattanooga.
Yeah.
They played a high school team. And,
But they blew him
it's
out.
been,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we blow out Chattanooga, and
fair.
we meaning
That's
us four. And so,
They did a great game.
I think this is very much one of those things where, Tennessee is a good football team. Can they win this game? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but outside of a touchdown, 7.5, you're going into a ranked team. Give me the home dog here, getting 7.5 points. The whole public's going to be on Tennessee. Tennessee can win by 3. They stay undefeated. Public loses. Sportsbooks clean up. Nico keeps moving. No harm, no foul. But I think this is just a classic stay in the number spot for a pretty grinded out game.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, for the first time this year, I cannot talk about this game because it will be my mortal.
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Mortaling this game.
Holy
is
smokes,
heavy.
mortaling this game. The
Oh, yeah.
one of two
I'm
ranked
just gonna
matchup.
I'm gonna tell you right now. The caliber of game you're mortaling compared to the caliber I'm mortaling could not be more opposite. I mean, I'm scrolling, they're going
Oh my
past me.
gosh, this
and
is
you're
that
top
Full
of the board.
FCS matchup.
Top of the board. I like it, Mike. Keep it above board there.
Let's go.
Mario.
Wait, what?
What are you feeling here?
You guys pretty much touched on everything I was feeling.
We're touching on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they
was a bar.
They love to touch.
Yeah, let's leave it
Jesus
at that.
Christ.
Okay.
Sorry. Locker room talk.
What locker room you grew up in? What locker? I mean, everything's making sense now. What locker room?
Mike grew up hanging around the gymnasium. Mike, he grew up, he's one of
We
those
know your
good old
swing,
boys.
Mike. We know your swing.
Robe
Oh
open,
my God, dude.
open
He's the guy in the
kimono,
sauna butt
as they
naked.
say in his culture.
Whoa! I'm American.
Open kimono.
I'm American
Wow.
and not Japanese.
Mario, we need to pick fast and we need it now. Holy
No, I
shit.
mean, I'm trying to give a
Two
pick.
views for one.
Whoa.
Okay. Anyways, Tennessee, NC State. Mike, think before you
Public
just say a
shouts.
word. Like, you just say the word, hear it, and go like, "Oh, that was questionable."
It says you were touching on things and
Yeah, it says you, Mario, for touching.
Yeah, you're the one who started.
He was
it
actually
off.
feeling it. We were the
Wait.
ones touching on certain stuff.
The
All right.
smile on Mike's face when you said touching on something.
No, that is
It just brought back a lot of good memories for him from his childhood.
not a problem.
shout out
Whoa.
How did you feel, Mario, when you saw this line for
Whoa.
the first time?
Whoa.
For the first time when you looked at this line, you're like, hey, this is a good game. Like, how do you think Nico holds up?
Similar to how this segment is derailing, I think Tennessee's gonna derail here.
Okay.
No, I just saw like Tennessee blew out Chattanooga. Exactly what you said. I was like, okay, cool. They're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I looked at Nico and I was like, yeah, he's good, but like going into NC State, give me NC State.
Prove it to us.
Yeah, like, yeah,
It's not
essentially
a
that.
consensus. Yeah, we're kind of all in lockstep today on the big game so
Yeah.
far, which is sharp.
We don't know, though.
We're usually pretty
This
decent
could
with
get real
consensus.
scary.
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying. For what the information we have now,
That's true,
it's,
that's true.
Consensus on 7.
Mike, do not change your mortal, whatever it is.
No,
yeah,
no, there's.
if it's Tennessee, like,
Nico
I'm
all
right.
the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm right.
I'm dropping.
I'm not betting the game.
I want to
Yeah,
ride
it's
you.
not.
Yeah, he wants
Whatever
to ride
you're
you.
betting, I'm right.
He wants a throwback to when you were younger, and he wants to ride you.
Whoa. I've never ridden anything.
Somebody falls.
I want that on the record.
Off the record.
On. I want that on the record.
Turn it off. Turn mic on. Let's go.
Please don't turn Mike on.
What?
Dude.
That was the only time I've seen Mike turned on was Texas last week.
Correct.
And his fantasy team.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to see that video, DM me. I got you.
Okay, all right. That's not an appropriate video.
We'll put a paywall up.
That's
We're making some money.
We're
DJ
making
OnlyFans.
Patreon link right down below.
We gotta
did just
keep
open
we gotta keep the lights on. We gotta keep the lights
The
on.
lights-
we gotta pay
yeah.
the bills. That's why we keep Mike around.
Oh God.
Mike after hours.
Mike
After dark.
Who knew Tennessee versus NC State would unlock?
I love it.
That's all it takes.
I did.
sometimes.
Shout out Nico.
Yeah,
I
shout out
believe him.
Nico.
Shout out.
Shout
All
out
right,
Nico.
those are the two games. Let's see what Mike's moral is. That'll be good.
Oh, that's gonna be
It's
electric.
time for the cards. Let's give you all our picks.
Bang.
All right, starting off the card here with the game we already talked about. I'm going Texas minus 7.5 against Michigan. Horns up, baby. SMU minus 11 against BYU. or sorry, 10.5. Georgia Tech minus 3.5 against Syracuse. Georgia Tech's my wagon now.
Yeah,
I
it has
can't
to
get
be.
off. Arkansas plus 7.5 versus Oklahoma State.
Love it.
Taking the dog there. UNC minus 21.5 against Charlotte. Maryland minus 7.5 against Michigan State. Ole Miss minus 40.5 against Middle Tennessee.
Love it.
Shout out Jackson Dart.
Dog.
Alabama minus 30.5 against South Florida. Nebraska minus 7.5 against Colorado.
You're fading Colorado.
Wow.
New year,
Thank you.
New you.
new me.
it's a
Sorry,
great pick.
Colorado. After what I saw last week, I got to take Nebraska.
The Buffs.
I'm also taking the over 57.5.
Love it.
Boise State plus 18.5 against Oregon, and the over 61.5.
Shout out Ashton Genty.
No, I mean, he's unreal. USC minus 28.5 against Utah State. A little scary. I feel like it should be bigger, but I'm taking it. And then, I mean, this guy, Washington State.
Oh, points, points,
Dude,
points, points.
points. Plus 1.5 against Texas Tech, and the over 65.5.
I mean, a million. Murder it.
Love it.
That's Scar.
Bang. That's a card right there for you.
They
by the
scored
way.
70 by themselves.
All right. Starting off similar to how Mario did. Horn sale, baby. Texas minus 7.5 going against Michigan.
Bang.
We're going to go Tennessee, NC State. Didn't talk about that game, but over of 60.5. SMU minus 10.5 going against BYU.
Love it.
Also, SMU, BYU over of 55.5.
Walk always.
Similar to Mario, joining the Georgia Tech wagon of minus 3.5 at Syracuse. Oklahoma State minus 7.5 against Arkansas. Iowa minus 2.5 against Iowa State. State schools, not good. Washington minus 27.5 against Eastern Michigan. Notre Dame minus 29.5 against Northern Illinois. Ole Miss minus 40.5 against Middle Tennessee. Alabama minus 30.5 against South Florida.
Laying them.
Oh, I'm laying
the
them.
numbers this week.
Air Force, the Force, minus
yeah.
6.5 versus San Jose State. Shout out Kyle, friend of the pod. Mizzou, minus 34.5 against Buffalo. Nebraska, minus 7.5 against Colorado. Colorado, fuck the Buffs. And lastly, but not leastly, USC, minus 28.5 versus Utah State.
Love it.
That was
Love
almost
it.
my mortal.
You're laying all the numbers.
I mean,
all of
I
it,
mean, he's
all the
laying
numbers.
massive
Yeah.
things.
I mean, I'm
Scored
laying a
27
Troy.
against LSU.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
there's no way they don't.
I went 45% last week, and I totally realized why I was under 50%.
Didn't have enough picks.
Didn't have the force.
No, yes, I didn't start my card the same way I do every week. So
Yeah. Gotta be consistent.
we're getting back on the train.
Bang!
Starting my card off the same way I will for the rest of the season every
There
week.
we go.
Air Force, shout out Kyle.
Shout
Shout out Kyle, friend of the
Minus
pod.
6.5 against San Jose State. The games we already talked about. Texas minus 7.5, the consensus pick. Texas, Michigan over 44.5, and NC State plus the 7.5. Games we didn't talk about. Pitt plus 2.5 at Cincy. Really like that line, and I love the under there. 58.5 Pitt, Cincinnati. Syracuse plus 3.5 at home against Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech's good. I think they'll be ranked when the rankings come out. This episode comes out after the rankings come out, but we're filming before, so they should be ranked. They deserve it. They're 2-0. Syracuse spoils the party. They're really, really good at home. And I love the over, 60.5. Both these teams are going to score. Georgia Tech will run. Kyle McCord's going to throw for a lot. Bowling Green plus 34.5 at Penn State. This is almost my mortal. I really love Bowling Green in this spot. Penn State's not good. I will fade them every week.
Shout out Penn
But
State.
even if it doesn't work,
I was about to say.
even if it doesn't work, shout out West Virginia. I still love you.
West Virginia.
Baylor plus 14.5 at Utah. F- Utah. Iowa minus 2.5 at home against Iowa State. Like Mike said, state schools, bad.
Yeah.
Nebraska minus 7.5 at home against Colorado because apparently we're all on them this week.
Woohoo!
So I'm about it. If Mike's about it, I'm about it. Boise
Hey.
State plus 18.5 at Oregon. This is a free roll, and if we still had upset of the week picks, this would be my money line because Oregon is dog.
We should
water.
bring it back.
Ole Miss, Middle Tennessee over 62.5. Ole Miss might get there on their own, and South Alabama, Ohio over 53.5.
Wow, I
All
love
right.
that. Wow. I have the South Alabama Ohio over on my card too, which I love.
It's a must.
Bang.
Crazy
It's
game.
really a must.
Yeah,
bet.
we'll
It's a big
start with
game.
that. South Alabama, Ohio over 53.5. Nebraska minus 7.5, and the Nebraska Colorado over 57.5. Texas Michigan under 44.5, no points. Penn State minus 34.5 versus Bowling Green. I'm the opposite. I'm gonna keep Ryan Joyler until he f***s me. Arkansas.
What?
Is there a problem with that?
I mean,
Sorry.
I'm
Keep
gonna
going.
keep riding him till he.
And you heard me correctly. I'll say it again for a check. All right, Arkansas, Oklahoma State.
Wait, just say it one more time.
Arkansas, Oklahoma
no.
State over 59.5.
Love it.
Georgia Tech, Syracuse over 60.5. Hopefully because of Georgia Tech
Over.
scoring a million. Memphis minus 17.5 versus Troy. W. Memphis team total over 35.5. Notre Dame Fighting Irish minus 29.5 against Northern Illinois.
Oh, you're riding.
Yeah, Northern. I mean,
Right
this,
letter.
I mean, there's, I'm not writing. No,
He's a writer. He's a writer.
Cal Auburn over 53.5. Maryland minus 7.5 versus Michigan State. Navy minus 13.5. Ole Miss minus 40.5 versus Middle Tennessee. Murder. Ole Miss team total over 50. Dude, I'm gonna be hammering that until it loses.
I mean, it hits in the first quarter.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Alabama minus 30.5 versus South Florida, big number. Another one, Missouri minus 34.5 versus Buffalo. Kansas, Illinois under 55.5. UAB minus 13.5 versus UL Monroe. Ohio State minus 38.5, hammer. NC State, Tennessee under 60.5. Oklahoma minus 28.5 versus Houston. Clemson minus 17.5. Give it to me good, give it to me hard. I love it. Clemson's
What?
gonna murder him.
Light that money on fire.
Yeah, no, it's free. Oregon, Oregon, Boise State over 61.5. My triple dip that you love. Washington State plus 1.5 for Texas Tech. Washington State, Texas Tech over 65.5. Washington State team total over 31.5. New Mexico State plus 22.5 versus Liberty. USC minus 28.5 for Utah State. We all love that.
Yep.
Everyone's on that.
I know. I love that. I love it.
I kind of want to jump on, but I'm not going to.
Jump on it. SMU minus 10.5, which we all love. And how I end every single card. SMU team total over of 32.5. Give it to me, baby. I'm
That's
back.
good.
That's the most electric ending to a card. I love it. We always say it in
The I'm riding until he f***s me and ending it with "Give it to me, baby" is
give it to me good, give it to me hard.
Drew
is-
Allard. Sounds like you have a fan.
fan.
It sounds like you have.
I'm a big fan of your work on and off the field, brother.
And now it's time,
What?
everyone's favorite part of the show, the Mortal Lock segment. So this is where you as a subscriber get a
Get
free
money.
roll. We just give you a
Free
free roll every
money.
week. We're putting our own money on our 4 favorite bets of the week. If they hit, we pay you $1,000. So all you have to do, like, comment, and just be a subscriber. So you're already subscribed to the channel, of course, because you're watching.
You're in
you
the
love
pool.
the show. You're leaving comments just because you're entertained and you just like to support. You already do those. You don't even have to think about it. You're entered.
Quick note.
You're entered. You're entered.
Shout out y'all. Thanks for getting us to 1,000.
Shout out to Road
Yeah.
2000, baby. We hit it.
Bang.
Road
Way
to
remind us
10,000
that.
now. Let's go.
Road
Yeah.
to 10K. Now we've unlocked level 1. It's time to move on to level 2.
Amen.
That being said, how electric would it be to hit this parlay the week we had 1,000?
Oh, we're doing it.
subs?
Oh, we're doing it.
Fantastic.
Give away 1,000 when we hit 1,000. I love
we're
it.
doing
Boom. That's so sharp. So we're gonna start it off hot. Ryan,
Oh, yeah. I
Mortal
mean,
Locks. You're starting us off.
there's nothing more that you guys will love than my Mortal Lock. I spent a lot of time after last week in the Michigan pick, and it really hurt my soul. It close, hurt everything. I went, you know what? Let me go to my core values. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The thing I love betting at the end of the year, after every single one of my end of the cards ends the same way. So I'm going SMU,
Minus.
BYU over 55 and a half.
I love
baby.
that. I love that.
Points.
Wow.
It's gonna, trust me, it's gonna be free. Preston Stone's gonna do his thing. The first week, SMU, Preston Stone was hurt. Shit went down. Next week, they scored 59 points at home. This is gonna be a murder. BYU scored 41 last week. If they combine those, that's 90 points. It's a million, trillion, billion. Easy mortal. It's by the way, it's also on a Friday. So I'm just gonna unlock 1-0 to start for you guys.
I love that.
You're welcome.
Bang.
Boom.
I like that. Yeah, no, I love this Mortal.
Okay.
I watched this team play last week, and something came over me that I haven't felt in quite some time.
Oh.
This is how I felt when
That's
the
a
original
sentence right there.
The original Air Force days when I first started riding the Force. Watching this triple option, when there's a team that just runs for 300 yards a game, and there's nothing you can fucking do about
Nothing.
it's just electric to bet on.
Yeah.
And I found a new team that's doing it just about as good as anyone in the league, and that's Navy.
Navy.
God.
So my card.
You're big
He's a
fan
real
of
armed,
armed
he's a
forces
real
guy.
armed forces
Navy
guy.
minus 13.5 against Temple is my mortal
Bang!
lock.
Bang!
It's my mortal lock.
I love that.
They looked great against Bucknell. I loved what I saw last week. The ground game was electric.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of guys who move this ball up and down the field. So I'm
and
riding
down.
Navy. I'm riding the Force in the card, and then Navy's the mortal lock. Lock and key.
I mean, Temple got murdered.
Bet on
last
the
week.
United States, baby.
Yeah, shout out America. I love.
I mean, might have to
I
just
love
add
armed
armies
forces.
at the card while you're at it.
Oh, shit. Get all.
That's the triple option.
That's
right
the
there.
triple
You know what I'm
option
saying?
right there.
and
Don't
then
give
two,
me any more ideas.
two will get to Space Force University. But anyways, on to the mortal and on to a game that I couldn't talk about, which was NC State versus Tennessee.
Oh, Lord.
We're all on NC State.
They were all in NC State.
Yeah, and I
Consensus?
was not swayed.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm going Tennessee minus 7.5 here.
love
All
it.
right.
I ride
Tennessee,
you, Mike.
Nico
And here's
Almaleva.
why.
I ride you, Mike.
And no, you don't.
Yes,
Don't
he
let me
does.
down. No, you
I've
don't.
seen it. I live in
Don't
this
let
house.
me
No,
down,
you-
Mike.
He always keeps you up. He'll never
Let me
let
tell
down.
you.
He
Let me
loves to
tell you.
disappoint you.
Let me tell you.
But not this week.
Let him
Tell me why, Mike,
Let me
because
tell
I
you
want to
why.
ride.
Let me tell you. Okay. All right. Yep. The reason why is, first of all, as we mentioned, Nico Almaleva, unbelievable. He had a great showing. Granted, it was against an FCS team, but guess what? NC State also played a shit, unknown, pretty much FCS team. With that being said, Tennessee had over 200 yards more in all-purpose than NC State. Nico Almaleva is just consensus better quarterback than
100%.
stupid ass Grayson McCall.
mean,
and let me tell you
Coastal
about
Carolina boy.
no, yeah, exactly. Let me tell you about Grayson McCall right now. So Grayson McCall, NC State, they did not.
1,000 career
Hold on. They did not blow out their opponents last week, and this was against, like I said, a similar FCS shit team. Grayson McCall is going into his senior year. Obviously, he was playing, as Ryan mentioned, at Coastal Carolina, which is an irrelevant conference. Guess what? You're in the ACC now, buddy, and
real.
you clearly cannot hang in this ACC. I mean, granted, look, we talked about it. It's not the greatest, but it's still a Power 5 conference, and he can't hang there. Tennessee, guess where they're in? SEC. Even more of a reason why he can't hang. He won't be able to hang. Grayson McCall, you're going down. You might get shut out. You suck, and you're going to die.
All right. Death game of the year?
Death?
No.
Mike's first death game of the
Oh,
year.
wow.
no.
I was about to say, it's on brand.
Wow. Death game.
Well.
And there we have it. Tennessee
Death
minus
of his
the
career.
7.5.
Death of his career.
7.5, right?
Yep, 7.5.
All right. Lock it in. Mario, last leg of the parlay.
Yeah, last leg of the Mortal Lock parlay is going to be Kyron Lacey over receiving it. No,
Oh, dude, I wish. Jesus.
no, I
wish we
mean
could do
LSU's
that.
playing Nichols. That's where my grandma went to school.
Shout out Nichols.
If you can
Shout out your
find
grandma.
Kyron Lacey's receiving yard total, bet the over.
Every year.
That
156.
would be my Mortal Lock if we didn't just do spreads and totals. But anyways, we do spreads and totals. My Mortal Lock this week is going to be Missouri minus 34.5.
Bang.
Bang! I love
it's
Mizzou
on my
here.
card.
I love
Buffalo
Mizzou
shit.
here.
There it
Love
is.
that. Holy
So
shit.
there you have it. You got
Wow,
Missouri.
no logic, no reason.
You got Tennessee. You got Navy.
Bang.
And
Armed
you
forces.
got
SMU over, baby.
SMU over. I mean,
Smooth.
when you put those together, it sounds like some free money to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like some
It's-
free
We're
money.
hitting
So,
it. We're going to be in Vegas. We're going to hit it.
yeah, we're going to Vegas. We get some footage from there. It's going to be really fantastic. It's going to be a great week.
No, I
College
feel
football.
better
The best
about
week.
last week. We tried to go for highlights,
Yeah.
prime time.
I got greedy.
This is,
I got greedy with an LSU over. That was
you
a
know,
reach.
you know what I mean?
Going back to my roots, armed forces, triple ops. Love
Yeah,
it.
let's just
Yeah, just getting real.
We are
dial
brand.
it back. Under the radar.
Dialing it back.
Under the radar hit. That's what we
And
want.
hey, boys, this is also the first week of NFL. So, oh wait, crappy pick of the week. Our intern's flagging us down.
Hold
the
on.
back.
Intern Johnson's waving us
Hey,
in the background.
Good alert,
Mario.
Johnson. Good alert.
What's the crappy pick of the week?
Oh, yeah. Let him know.
Yeah, I've been entrusted with this information once again. And
Mr.
this week,
Johns.
the intern Johnson crappy pick of the week is going to be UAB minus 13.5 against UL Monroe.
I love
Wow.
it. I love it.
I mean, how do you not
That's-
just love
No
it?
love for General Booty over there.
Nothing.
No,
I love the
are.
Dragons. Love it.
That's
Love
a
the
pick.
Dragons. Big
Yep, there it
Dragons.
is.
Big
That's
Dragons.
a
Mario, before everyone goes on and enjoys the rest of their beautiful day, tell them what they need to do before they click on
Gorgeous.
this video.
What you need to do is subscribe to the channel
Oh, come
so
on.
you can be in the Mortal Lock.
Free
The
money
red
for
button.
you. It's
Leave
free
a
like.
like.
The red button.
all you
Leave a
gotta do.
comment. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, so I mean, give away 1,000.
Shout
We hit
out.
1,000.
Big number.
I mean, things are kind of lining up here. Share with a friend. Turn that notification bell on.
Ding!
And we'll see you next week.
Let's go. Road to 10K, baby.
NFL, tune in, baby.
Let's get it.